Hey BookTube, it's Kate and welcome back to my channel. I'm here to talk about my 2018 reading goals. So last year in 2017, I set my reading goals for the first time ever, and using the Goodreads reading challenge, I set my goals to 52 books. So that was about a book a week, and I enjoyed it to a point. It was nice to use Goodreads as a tool to track what I was reading, how often I was reading, and it did push me to read more than I normally would, but I wouldn't necessarily say that it was in a good way because I constantly felt like I was racing towards this year-end goal. And there were times where I just got really busy and then I got behind and it was so stressful. And I decided that in 2018 that I didn't want to put that kind of pressure on myself. What I do want to do in 2018 is, one, make sure that I am reading. And if any of you watched Ariel Bissett, you'll know that she set her reading goal on Goodreads to 1. And I thought that was such a genius idea because you're using the tool to track what you're reading, but you're not forcing yourself to hit a certain number and compete with your friends, which is ridiculous. It's like, we're on here to read because we love it, not because it's a sport. It's something that we do to quiet ourselves, not to ramp ourselves up and be anxious about competing with one another, which is what it became for me. And in 2018, I want to make sure that I'm focused on content and quality and not quantity, which is why I've decided to make sure that I am reading diversely. I'm reading at least 25% books by or about people of color and at least 25% books by or about women. And in order to do that, I'm going to be using 2 tools. One is going to be the Book Riot Read Harder Challenge, and the second one is going to be the Reading Women's Podcast Challenge for 2018. I'm going to be using them as guides to make sure that I'm sticking to my goals, not necessarily things that I absolutely have to accomplish, because I found out that when I do that to myself, it puts an unnecessary pressure on something that I'm just trying to enjoy doing. Another goal of mine in 2018 is to make sure that I'm reading more nonfiction. I want to at least read 10 nonfiction books this year. In 2017, I only read about a handful. And then my next goal for 2018 is the Unread Shelf Project. I don't know how many of you are big Bookstagram followers, but I am very active in that community. And there is a project that was started by Whitney at the Unread Shelf. And it's basically to make sure that we're not neglecting the books that we've already bought, which is something that happens quite frequently, at least for me, because I'm constantly trying to stay relevant in the social media community. I want to make sure that I'm reading things that everyone else is reading. And in 2018, I'm not going to do that to myself. I refuse. I feel like books are timeless objects, and that it doesn't matter when we read them, just as long as that we're reading them. So if a book came out in 2015 and I'm not getting to it until this year, what's the big deal, right? I refuse to allow social media dictate what I read because often those books are overhyped. They become so talked about and so praised, and then you read them and then you feel like, what? Like, that's it? Like that's this book? I know one particular book for me that I read in 2017 that everyone was talking about was Final Girls by Riley Sager. I'm not gonna go into depth right now because that's not what this video is about, but I just felt like that book fell flat for me, and in 2018 I don't want to do that to myself. I don't want to buy into the hype and the buzz that we perpetuate, or that is perpetuated by people on social media. So that is another one of my goals, is to not buy into the hype, and I'm gonna help myself along the way by making sure I'm actually reading from my bookshelf and not just running out to the bookstore, checking Amazon and seeing what's new and what's being released. And I'm going to be doing that by reading at least 2 or 3 books from my own bookshelf every single month of backlist titles. So anything that wasn't published in 2018. And then my last goal for 2018 is to read a book that intimidates me. I've never been a big fan of really big books, so anything over 500 pages, I sort of just kind of put on the back of the shelf and shove it back there, and I say, ugh, and not for me, or not now, or maybe I'll get to it at another time. So this year in 2018, I'm going to be reading at least one of those books, and I've already picked which one. It's going to be George Eliot's Middlemarch, and I'm going to be reading it in the month of March. I'm actually going to do a little series on here called Middlemarch in March, and I'm going to be talking about my experience with that book. And if any of you want to join in, just let me know in the comments down below. We can do a buddy read together. Alright, well that's it for me for this video. Make sure that you comment down below about your 2018 reading goals, because I'd absolutely love to hear from you guys. And then all my social media links are down below. My Instagram, my Twitter, my Goodreads, and then make sure you're liking, subscribing, and commenting, because it really helps out you guys. And I will hopefully talk to you soon. Alright, bye!